Let's get into this exercise though of predicting our most likely breakout player for every Eastern Conference team. Do you want to start us off since I'm bad at the alphabet?
I can do that. The first team alphabetically is the Atlanta Hawks. And I should preface this first by saying that when we went through this exercise, we were not allowed to pick rookies just because there's nothing to break out from. We stayed away when we could from all stars because even if they could ascend to another level, it's not really a breakout so much as a continued ascension. And we were largely focused on things that don't seem universally guaranteed to happen. I think the best example is LaMelo Ball with the Charlotte Hornets. Like, yeah, he is likely to break out and become, if not an all star candidate in the Eastern Conference, but that just feels a little bit too easy. So there are some that might fall into that category, none quite that obvious. Anything to
Right.
add on the criteria before I kick off the Hawks?
I tackled it the exact same way. I was a little bit more bullish on sophomores too, where it's like, unless there weren't a lot of great other options, or I really think that their role is
Mm.
materially going to change, I did try to avoid that. But the second team on this list includes a sophomore. So what are you going to
Yeah,
do?
I have a few sophomores for sure. For the Hawks, though, my pick it was between Cam Reddish and DeAndre Hunter, and I am going to go with Hunter because I think we're seeing a little bit more growth as a wing defender that they really need. He also is showcasing a little bit more off the bounce ability, which looked really shaky early in his career, and he was far less reliant on corner threes as a sophomore. He went from 94.4 to 90.3% assisted on threes as well. So he's starting to operate more above the break. He's starting to operate more off the dribble. And the Hawks still do need that other source of offense, both when Trae Young isn't on the court and when he's just facing a lot of defensive attention and needs a breather. So to me, Hunter feels a little bit more likely to develop into that 3 and D stalwart that Atlanta needs, even if Reddish has similarly high upside.
I picked DeAndre Hunter too, and I don't think Reddish's upside is nearly as high, just because I think DeAndre Hunter showed a lot more off the bounce last season before he started dealing with injuries. And so if you have someone who can hit some pull up jumpers in addition to spot up jumpers, and then also not just hold up defensively, but unlock some truly harrowing small ball combinations, that's a big deal in Atlanta. And I think we might even be able to, he might have more value with Onyeka Okongwu going to miss a huge chunk of the season. I know they signed Gorgie Jang and they just extended Clint Capella, but like there are going to be minutes where John Collins is at the five, and a lot of those lineups are going to work because of DeAndre Hunter being the four spot in those units. And so I think even if you boil it down to opportunity, I would argue that Atlanta might just play Kevin Herter more than Cam Reddish at this point,
Mm.
and that Hunter is still going to have the bigger opportunity. And so he was kind of the clear pick for me. And I think the biggest aspect of his game that I want to see is the secondary playmaking and sort of the off the bounce stuff. Is that for real? And then of course, can he stay healthy enough? But if you tell me that he misses fewer than 15 games, I think he's going to have one hell of a season. And I think
Yep.
people forget he was involved in the onset most improved player discussion last season. So this is someone with a very, very high ceiling.
Yeah, it's amazing. The Hawks, a reigning Eastern Conference finalist, and still so much room for growth.